It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But I get it, you're busy, and busy people can't have prediabetes. I read that wrong. They can, okay? Just go to the site.
Hi, welcome to the Destin Business Forum, brought to you by the Destin Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Amy Perry, and our guest today is Cameron Rowe. You are the founder of CRC Data Technologies.
That's correct. Yes.
All right. So for those of us who didn't know, what is CRC Data Technologies?
We are a managed services provider, but what that means is we do IT support and network security for a lot of local businesses. We also do computer repairs. We're an Apple-authorized service provider, so we do a lot of Mac and MacBook repairs. But basically anything having to do with network security, from firewalls to virtualization, any sort of infrastructure support that our clients need, we're the guys that they call and we get it working for them.
I would guess that you're probably focusing on those companies that are maybe a little too small to have a full-time in-house IT person. Maybe?
It's a mix. We have some clients who have an in-house IT person who takes care of help desk and user issues, and we'll do some of the heavy loading for them. So we'll go in there and do data center virtualization, we'll do network security, or we have some clients that have an IT person that's off-site, and this is a satellite office, and we'll go be the boots on the ground to hook up and connect devices and make sure they've got the communications, and then the remote management guys will take care of it from there.
Got it. But if somebody doesn't have an IT person or a full-time IT person, can they call you and say, I have a few computers and I know my business, but I have no clue, what I need to do. And it really does get complicated really quickly.
Especially as businesses start to grow, the same kind of support for a large business is going to be the same network is going to be very different as that entity starts to grow. Consistency, uniformity become a lot more important. Documentation. It's kind of like if you've ever seen a comm closet, as a network grows, if it's not managed properly, it can turn into a tangled rat's nest real quickly. So you have to have somebody to go, hold on, don't just add things hodgepodge. Make sure that we have a plan for how to do it before we do.
Okay, and you do that.
That's exactly what we do, yes.
Your company does that. All right, we were talking a little bit before we started filming, and I was trying to get, just to focus in on what are the, major important things. And the first one I thought would be antivirus. And you're like, hold up, Skippy. You don't know what you're talking about. That is important, but on a, 1, 2, and 3, that would be number 3.
That's really, that's the third most important thing to do to protect your computer from infection or hacking. And I have prospects all the time that I'll talk to, and they'll say, oh, I have an antivirus. And
I'm good, right?
Exactly. So I should be protected. My first question is, well, who manages the antivirus? And a lot of these people will say, well, just everybody manages their own. Well, then you don't really have somebody overlooking the entire system to make sure that it hasn't broken, that it isn't out of date. But as you mentioned, to me, antivirus is the third most important thing. The first most important thing is patching. There are vulnerabilities that get discovered, and it's like the back door of your house. You can have a great lock on the front. It can be biometric, but if the back door is unlocked, the crooks just come in and unlock the lock on the front door and open it right up. So the antivirus doesn't come into play if you have vulnerabilities that aren't patched. These vendors will put out fixes, but somebody has to be in charge of identifying when those come out and making sure they get applied.
So is that like on an Apple, phone when they have an update, that's a patch, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
But on maybe a PC, they don't tell you all the time, hey, there's this patch for, I don't know, however many different things you have on your computer.
Exactly. And so the operating system is one. A lot of people say, well, I get all the Windows updates. The other concerns are things like Adobe Flash and your browser. And most of the infections we see these days aren't really around the operating system as much as they are the browser. So we will have people come in with their Macs, which is fairly safe because it hasn't been a big target for a lot of hackers. So there's an upside to having a Mac there. However, the browser gets infected. So they have Firefox or Chrome, and they come in and they go, oh, I've got a virus. And we go, no, thankfully you don't have a virus. It's just a browser infection. And we can clean that out pretty quickly.
And if they're like me, their eyes glaze over and go, okay,
just
browser infection, virus. Okay. So properly patching is the most important thing.
Yes.
And then the second thing is content filtering?
Content filtering.
I need that.
More and more. And so most of our clients are businesses. A lot of environments we go into, you may have employees that don't intend to do anything wrong, but they go surfing the internet and they end up getting the machine infected. So our content filter helps identify malicious sites and blocks them. It gives an override. If they have a manager with a password, they can go ahead and punch that in and override it. But more importantly, it also gives our clients visibility into what's going on their network. So if you have an employee who's sending out their resume on company time, or they're surfing content that's not safe for work and that could expose you to legal concerns in the future, you can see, hey, why is somebody going to this particular site? And then drill down to figure out which machine that is, and then either just say, hey, we're going to block the content so we don't have to worry about it, or at least admonish and say, hey, these aren't
Hey,
used.
we know you're going
These
to
aren't
this.
for personal use, yes.
Got it. So content filtering, patching, antivirus. I think I got that backwards.
No, that's good. That's
Patching first.
Patching, content filtering, and antivirus would be my order, but all three are crucial. It's like a table leg. You take one away and you're going to have a problem.
Sure. And that in your company can do that large or small. You can do it, I'm assuming, do you go on site or do you?
We do. About 60 to 70% of our work now is remote, and so we'll go on site, set up the tools, get everything configured, and then from our office we can monitor if there's a performance problem or an application not working correctly, if something has gone offline or if it's running out of space, and then we're able to go ahead and remediate most of that remotely. Every once in a while there's a physical piece of equipment and you have to go out and pull that and plug another one in.
Got it. Don't have a lot of time left, but when you were talking about employees going to maybe an inappropriate website, or just a website where they picked up something that's going to contaminate the system. We get emails sometimes from our IT person that says, hey, be aware that there's an email from the bar, or it looks like it's from the bar.
Exactly.
And it's really not. Do you do stuff like that for your clients?
We actually do a training program, and it's training and testing. So it's a computer-based training program. You can assign it to your employees and track who has and hasn't yet completed it. You can set a deadline and have it send reminders, hey, you haven't done this yet, you're supposed to do it. And it teaches employees how to identify malicious emails, but also it tests, and so it will tell you, hey, this particular person clicked on what's called a phishing email, and so you can see whether or not they're falling for a lot of the common tricks out there.
Good to know. All right, we have exactly 1 second, so come back. This is something that I don't fully understand, but I'm interested in it, and thank God people like you exist, right?
Glad to be here. So I have a job.
All right, come back. I'm going to move right into our upcoming events.